Marjorie Adams. I'm going to be leading the call today. I'm the CEO of Fourlane. I am very excited to always talk about QuickBooks Desktop. It is my favorite product. Let's be real. You guys know this over these last 20-something years. And I'm very excited to give you some updates today. So the first thing we're going to talk about is pricing updates, some credit card awareness on licensing. This is so you don't lose that lifetime discount if you have it right now. Product updates, I can't show you in product yet because it's not released, but Intuit did give me approval to talk about what's going to be changing in the February update. QuickBooks support, and then also QuickBooks Online, Intuit Enterprise Suite updates, some news. I always like talking about some of the news around our world. To kick things off, I do want to remind us about the CX product. So this is the cloud user interface for QuickBooks Enterprise. So why do we have this product? Why are customers using this product? So that you can have a cloud-based product that looks and feels like QuickBooks. There's no learning curve. Boost speed and accessibility, of course. If you can, one of the biggest complaints we get, and something I have no control over except for to tell you to get to a better environment, is how fast your QuickBooks file moves. And if we can remove some of these users that are not doing things like payroll, like bank recs, etc., from the actual QuickBooks file, but have them still have accessibility to the information that they need, then everything's going to move faster. And then, of course, saving time and money. One of the other things that we're coming up against is, Intuit understands that there's a big breadth. There's a big wide space between what QuickBooks Enterprise costs and what the next level product costs. And we'll see today. They're lowering that gap a little bit, but it's still not even close, right? And so if we need to talk about how to save some money in licensing, always reach out to Fourlane. We can see how we can do that. All right, so in products, let me drag this screen over here just as a reminder so you guys can see it, right? So true web-based product. You can see you can resize the screens. It is in a web browser. I am looking at my little home screen here. When I go into my customers area, I can see all the customers down the side. One thing that we did, there's a couple things in here that are like little secret nuggets that you won't see in QuickBooks Desktop, right? So let me zoom out a little bit so you can see more. One of them is, we did add the last sale date. That is something that we have asked Intuit for forever. So you can customize the columns in here and choose which columns you want to show. One of them is last sale date. You can filter by last sale date. Also, any of these little areas, we have this drag and drop column here, so it's almost like a mini report. So I would be able to drag last sale date up there, drag sales rep up there, and it will total by. So sales rep as an example, if I drag it up here, now the whole column's total by sales rep, and then I can expand. These are guys without sales reps. Here's all Bill's customers that he's working with, etc. And then once you're done with it, you can just drag it right on back down. It's a little bit more functionality. I know I said there's no learning curve. You don't have to do those things. It's just kind of cool that you have them. But last sale date was one that we threw in there because I feel like that's one of the most common questions we have is we want to go make our customers inactive, but we don't know which ones we've sold to this year and which ones we haven't. Okay, there's also filters in here that you can click on and filter the columns as well. Sorry, it popped up. Then over on the side, of course, we have, create new estimates, create sales orders, create invoices, etc. You can create a new customer from in here, a new job. If I create a new customer, it looks and feels just like my QuickBooks customer. Oh, it's going to say it's too early in the morning. What are you doing to me? All right, and so let me get creative here. So we're going to talk about the New York Suite store. And then, of course, we can copy and paste down, right, if we needed to, put in full name, address. When you click on address, it pops up here. Under the payment settings, I've got my account number if I wanted to fill that in. I mean, everything just looks and feels. I have my price levels in here. Everything just looks and feels just like QuickBooks does. Under additional information, of course, I can have customer type, right, consumer retail, sales rep. Again, that way we're just looking at that field. And then, of course, we can have custom fields. So when I come back into the Customer Center, then now I've got my New York Suite store down here, and then I can go in and start to add my transactions. When I create an estimate in the system, you can see it looks and feels just like an estimate. I have the ability to customize my templates in here, have favorite templates, etc. And then I can go down below and start adding the items that we need to add. All right. Okay. And of course, because I'm zoomed in, you have the save up here. We also have save down. And I can say save. So again, this product, the purpose of this product is to be able to, oh, you know what I wanted to show too, actually, just because we're talking about these, like, you know, what are the things that you can have and what are the things that you can do. In the Customer Center, we do also have, so this is big for the job costing. If I click on, and I don't know which ones of mine are going to have it, related transactions, you can see any purchase orders or purchase type transactions, basically, that are tied to that particular job will show up under that tab. So that's something a little bit different than what QuickBooks Desktop will do as well. Also in the items area, you can see, we actually can have images in here that you can utilize. And we're like, we're not going to do like how Desktop did, which is throw an image in that's not usable. So when you edit your items in here, you can throw images in, and then that way you can see them as well. So just little bits and pieces. Anyway, okay, I need to move on. This is like one of my most favorite things to talk about. But you can tell I'm pretty passionate about it because, again, it helps our customers to be able to stay inside of QuickBooks and not leave, right? One of the biggest places they go, Intact, Acumatica, not Intact as much. It doesn't do inventory, but Acumatica, NetSuite, right? And it's usually for accessibility and speed, and so that's what we're doing here. All right, pricing. Get ready for this. So I'm going to throw up on the screen the change in pricing. We're going to talk about silver here. I'll throw gold and platinum up, though, as well. So let me talk you through what we are looking at. Now, this is all MSRP, and this is for QuickBooks Enterprise Silver. Okay, this all got released in earlier February. They always do price changes in February. Usually it's somewhere between 7 to 10%, maybe up to 12 is what I've seen before. Intuit did it very flat this year. So you can see old price for a Silver 1 user was $14.81. That's MSRP again. The new price, MSRP, is $17.03. That is a 15% price change. Okay. Then if you go down, you can see all 1 through 5 got a 15% price change. If you come down here to 6 plus, that is a 20% price change. So they moved it up quite a bit. Now this is all MSRP. Taking a quick sip of my coffee. Down here in the where the weather is going up and down constantly, so sometimes my voice gets all dried out. But you can see 20% change down here. Now if you are going through your renewal and you want to have questions on how to handle renewal, always give us a call. The other people who raised their prices was RightWorks, raised their prices again. We knew that was going to happen. And I think it was also 15% is what I'm being told. I didn't do the math on that one yet because that one's kind of delayed in their release. And so, but it's close to the 15%. If you have a lifetime discount, right? So if you bought through QuickBooks or if you bought through Fourlane, you got that 20% lifetime discount, which again, we're going to talk about some boundaries around that here in a second. If you got the lifetime discount, right? So right now, not MSRP, right now you're paying $11.84.80. And in the new pricing, so if you make some of the mistakes that we're going to talk about in a minute here, the new pricing would be $17.03, right? That's $17.03, and that'd be a 44% price change. So if you're in a discount and you end up with the new MSRP, it can feel like quite a bit, but that's why, right? I don't want us to get confused as to why. We had this lifetime discount, right, that they have set up. That is not available anymore, but they have this lifetime discount. So if it feels like that price hike is quite large, right, 6 plus users is a 50% price hike. If it feels quite large, again, just give us a call. We'll talk to you guys through it, but it's because you were able to lock in this discount that they were talking about. So when we talk about gold, it is literally exactly the same. 15% price hike up to 5 users, 6 users plus 20% price hike. $44.50 if you're getting the discount. So I'll let this sit up here for a minute. 5 users is $5,000 a year. 6 users is $5,200 a year. In the grand scheme of things, or I'm sorry, $6,300 a year. In the grand scheme of things, these prices compared to anywhere else are still, I mean, a tenth, an eighth for the people who are on the call who attempted to go to QuickBooks or to NetSuite and then had to come back, because there's a lot of y'all. We work with you guys all the time. When you attempt to go out there into the world and try something new and then you end up coming back, you not only have paid for the licensing, because you have to pay for the licensing from the point you move forward. You have to have the licenses. So let's say it takes you 12 months of implementation, which is fairly normal, somewhere between 6 to 12 months of implementation time. You're paying for the license even when you're not using the product yet, right? Then you're paying for the implementation as well. So when we see these price hikes and everybody gets so frustrated with Intuit around it, Intuit has been undercharging, in my opinion, for years. And I want them to charge a fair market value, because otherwise this product won't survive, right? It won't survive if we're not charging the right amount of money. This is a business also. So I know it affects your business, but again, if you compare what the alternative is out there, we've got a long way to go. All right, let's talk about Platinum. Same thing, 15%, 20%, $44.50, exact same number. If you look in here, I didn't post Diamond up here. We've got some alternatives for Diamond. Diamond is QuickBooks Enterprise Platinum, plus you have the option to add assisted payroll, which is the only place you can get assisted payroll. You also have the opportunity to add time cards, QuickBooks Time, which is in our channel the only place we can get QuickBooks Time, but we're not allowed to sell Diamond anymore. I'm not sure if I don't know the direction of Intuit with that, honestly. I can't really tell. I feel like they're trying to still push people to QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online payroll is not even close enough yet at all to how it functions in desktop. But the problem with desktop is that it takes up a lot of space in your file when you process payroll down there. So we've been getting very creative with customers on how to make that work. Also, time card entry. It could be expensive. QuickBooks Time pricing has also been getting raised. So in our CX product, you also have the time entry screens that look and feel just like the QuickBooks time entry screens, right? So when you're in here and I don't know if I have it turned on in this file, enter time, use weekly timesheets, right? It looks exactly the same. So let me get back into my slide deck. So anyway, again, just general awareness. If you're thinking about pricing, if you have questions on pricing, give somebody a call who understands. You might not hear the best answer like, hey, it is what it is, but it kind of is what it is. And again, Intuit has so far to go. When we are talking about this, is still like less than $100 per user per month. Okay. All right, let's go into enterprise news. Okay, so this is the news I was going to share around licensing. The QuickBooks credit card expiration date. So this is your credit card that you bought QuickBooks Enterprise with. That's what I'm talking about here. The credit card that you put down to pay for your QuickBooks licensing. Okay? If that credit card expires, let's say your credit card expires March 2025. If you do not update the credit card prior to it expiring with Intuit, which you can do through us, let us help you get this done. So we make sure, because you know if you call Intuit, they're going to sell you something, they're going to do the things, and blah, 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 right? You never know you're going to get on the phone. It's not what we're going to do here, Fourlane. So if you, and that's not everybody, let me say, that was a very general thing, but you can get some people that are confusing. And also, by the way, you can think you're calling Intuit and you're not. That is happening more than ever right now. We are having a lot of people who call us after they have talked to some scammer and paid them 3 years up front of credit card process or of Intuit licensing, which Intuit doesn't do that. And then they call us and like, I just spent $9,000 on this thing, and guess what? It was a scammer. So definitely call us. Fourlane is your trusted source around this. But if that credit card expires, March 2025, if that credit card expires in the system, we don't have control if we can get you back your lifetime discount. We are being told that we will not be able to get you back your lifetime discount, and you will go into MSRP automatically, okay, if that credit card expires. And I don't think that this is Intuit trying to be mean. I just think it's the way that their systems are set up, and they can't offer it, right? If the license is canceled, then they have to give you a new license. And with a new license, they can't offer you a new discount because they're not lifetime discounts anymore. So again, it's not them trying to be mean or anything. It's just the way that their systems are set up. So what can we do to control what we can control? Look at your credit card expiration date, give us a call and let us update in the system ahead of time, right? Because usually all credit card dates just push forward a couple years, okay? We are trying to be proactive with our customers that we have the expiration dates for, but we're not going to be able to call everybody. So please use this, be proactive, because we don't want to take the calls afterwards that say people are upset because they're going on that big price hike, right? The price hike that's going from, instead of just a 15% price hike, they're going to 44% price hike if you get into the new pricing MSRP. All right, let's keep going with some news. Okay, so starting on 10/1, no new licenses are being sold with lifetime discounts. We talked to you guys about that before, but just a reminder. Existing licenses that make a change to their license could potentially lose their lifetime discount as well. That means if you're going from 3 users to 4 users. That means if you're going from 4 users to 8 users or 9 users to 2 users, you could lose that lifetime discount. So again, that's why we say give us a call. We do everything we can to help protect our customers in any way possible, and we'll find the way to handle licensing changes if we can for you. But we want you to be aware so you're not surprised, okay? So again, when you call them, you say, hey, I have to make a change. They might send you an existing license. You might lose that discount. Enterprise currently has a promo. They've had promos since October, and that's new. We haven't had promos in several years. I like that they have a promo. Intuit always feeds off promo, right? The products they're paying attention to are on promo. QuickBooks Online is on promo. And so to me, it tells me they're paying attention to it. They want to sell it. So I'm good with it, and we will take advantage of promotions whenever we can with our customers. And of course, I already mentioned this, QuickBooks Enterprise Diamond is not being able to be sold by VARs anymore. That's not true. We can process the sale, we just don't get paid for it. Is that weird, right? We don't get a commission from it anymore. We haven't gotten a commission from QuickBooks Time in a while. I don't know what that means. I can't imagine that they're going to change QuickBooks Time, but the thing I'm thinking is maybe they're going to move it in product. I don't know what that means, but it is strange, right, that they're bringing it away from the channel. Okay, and again, alternatives for us, we can still do QuickBooks Time. We can still process that order. It's just not commissionable, right? So my sales reps obviously aren't going to want to sell it as much, but we will. We will do what's right by the customer. And then also because we added time cards into CX, lowers that price point for people. So yeah. All right, we're going to talk about the QuickBooks product updates real quick. I can't show this in product because it hasn't been released yet. This is the first time I have not been able to show something in product. I got approval from Intuit to talk about this, and they said, yes, please do talk about it ahead of time. So talking about it. It's just a couple of changes around reporting, and then one that I'm unsure on, which is why I thought it was weird they wanted me to talk about it, because I'm not sure if this is being released or not. But the first one is around profitability reporting. You can see in here when you go into item profitability report, they are saying, hey, we're using more accurate data so you can find profitable, maximize your revenue. What's profitable? Track how your inventory items are selling. Whoops. And then improve how you manage inventory. So on the side over here, there's a couple extra boxes when you look at the item profitability report, right? So we have the markup and the margin in here, which we've had. That's always been there. That's always been a thing. But then we have the actual markup and the actual margin boxes. These are new, all right? And what they look like on an actual report, right? So they have the actual cost, right, which and the actual sales price. So in this case, historically, if we had the cost and the sales price, it's going to pull that from the item card, right? When you edit an item, that's where it pulls it from. The actual cost, right, and the actual revenue is going to pull it from the transaction. Now you can see it's still a little bit off here, right? So here, so it's two lines, 985, 985, and 985, two lines for the one item that they're selling. It shows the plus and the minus. The plus is showing the revenue. the minus is showing the cost. So it is still like a little bit like sideways, but the fact that they added it, we can drop this into an Excel spreadsheet and do some pivot tabling and make it all pretty if we need to see what our margins are. The other thing that they did, which I didn't get a screenshot of it, but I was told, is that they added the sales rep into this report. So you can add sales rep and then actual cost, actual sales price. That's right. Okay, so that's one change that you'll see coming up. The other change, which you can actually see here too, is they did add a search on the reports. Oh gosh, I'm running out of time. They added a search on the reports. So when you search, right, so it's so hard to see. Can I zoom in more? You can see I search for enter there, and when I search for enter, it highlights. It's a new one for me too. Highlighting inside of QuickBooks Enterprise. Whoop. Let me get back in there. Okay. It highlights for you what you're searching for. So if that is somewhere on the screen, so enter must be in the name or in the description or in the preferred vendor or somewhere in there, then it will highlight these for you. So pretty cool. If you're searching, where this one I feel like is going to be super exciting, is if you're on that transaction detail report, or if you're on that, a quick report that is totaling or detailing, we used to have to scroll down. If we're trying to see where the balance sheet and the item inventory valuation summary report are disconnected, sometimes we have to run this detailed report, and then you have to scroll through to find the item that you're looking for. Well, now I can just search for it, highlight it, and it'll be a lot easier to see. So that's what I'm being told. Again, I don't have it in product yet because it hasn't been released, but I'm being told that that's going to be on all reports, which comes right on the heels of the zoom that they added last time on all reports. If you guys haven't seen that yet, right, you can zoom to 150% and it will maintain whatever zoom you use. And then the last one here, which is kind of minor, but hopefully you can see where they're headed with it. So when you have custom fields that have a drop-down, right, you add a multiple choice list, which you can only do in Enterprise. And then you go into like a report and you modify the report. You don't see the choices in there, right? Small, medium, large for size as an example. And so now they added the ability to see the drop-down choices on the report. You can't select multiple yet. That was my feedback. I need to be able to select multiple. But at least you can see the drop-down choices in here, so it's carrying forward. My guess is it's only going to get better from here, right? Now, I'm not sure if this one's being released because there was something that they were working on, but obviously it's something they're working on, so it's coming out, and I was told I could talk about it. So still improving product, slowly moving forward with little bits and pieces, and that's the update on product. Oh, running out of time. Okay, so just as a reminder also, I know one of the biggest things that people complain to us about, in general, this is not Intuit. This is all anytime you're calling about support. If there is not an additional charge for support, then support's usually not the best, right? You call Microsoft support, call some of these other support arms, maybe they call it customer success now, right? But as a counter to that, what we've done here at Fourlane is we did set up support plans. So I wanted to remind you guys about that. You can submit support tickets with us. We get you set up on a call within an hour, so you're not sitting there waiting on hold for somebody to pick up the phone. We schedule an appointment with you, and then we get on and we kick through the issues that are happening. Some of the things that have been coming up lately, a lot, payroll, of course, support happening during the 1099 time. So payroll and 1099 support was happening. We have a lot of issues with Intuit accounts lately. So like your Camps account, when you log into your Camps account that we've had to fix, those kinds of things when we're having to fix them and call Intuit, so payroll, merchant services, that's the higher charge here. We basically are dealing with Intuit on your behalf, which is, when your IT company, when you call your IT company, your IT guy is calling Microsoft on your behalf a lot of times when it's a actual real big problem, right? The other thing, the less expensive is more around, permissions, corruption issues, error codes, can't load, install help, which we shouldn't have that much of anymore. If a new release comes out and causing problems, Microsoft just, discontinued their support for Windows 10, right? Was it 11? I don't know, whatever the Windows one. I'm not in IT. So any of those kinds of fun system-wide things, then we're doing some of those troubleshooting. And then the difference really is around licensing help, payroll help, and merchant services help that's generally, and or help with building some memorized reports, right? So you know the report you need to get to inside of QuickBooks, we can help build those reports out too. That's just understanding tables, etc. So making sure everybody's aware of that. If you've had to call Intuit support in the last month and you don't want to have to do that again, give us a call. All right, so the last little topic we are going to talk about is, should we move to QuickBooks Online? So there was a lot of buzz in this last 6 months around Intuit Enterprise Suite as well, which is a QuickBooks Online product. So just, again, please come and do a migration first. You do not have to go. You do not have to move your data from QuickBooks Desktop to QuickBooks Online and use QuickBooks Online that same day. You can test it. Move your data from QuickBooks Desktop to Online. Go play around in Online for 2 months. Try to mimic. Don't do double entry. Please don't do double entry for more than a week or 2 if you're going to do it. But don't do double entry. Go play around. Look at the results. Really look at the results. Because we have people who come back to us 2 months later and they go, oh, well, this one thing didn't move over and I really need this. And then we have to do some migration, right? Which means we have to move export data, import data, which can get costly. So you can do a sandbox environment. We always, for our customers who are moving from desktop to online, we suggest setting up a sandbox because you're most likely going to have to test third-party applications and you don't want to do it in your live environment. There is not an undo in QuickBooks Online. Okay. There's a lot of manual deleting and it's very slow. It's not like desktop where you can Control-D, Control-D, Control-D. No, it is very manual. So please set up sandbox environments. Please work with a company like ours to do these. And if you're being told, just move your data, you're going to be fine. In this space, in the QuickBooks Enterprise space, you guys are larger companies, and we all should know better. Intuit Enterprise Suite. Sorry, guys, I will get to all these questions, by the way, at the end. If I don't get to them at the end of today, I will follow up with you guys afterwards and get through these questions so I can see a ton of questions coming in. I know I'm going super fast today. I had a lot to cover. Intuit Enterprise Suite. We do have the ability to demo this product. We can get in there and do some things with Intuit Enterprise Suite. The thing that is a little bit chaotic for us right now is the pricing. We don't understand the pricing that much, and we have to rely on Intuit to tell us pricing. So although we can demo it, you know, we don't have all the tools to be able to successfully get you up that way. For our clients who have been going to Intuit Enterprise Suite, which we do have a couple, what is happening? So people coming from outside products, it's a great product for Intact type customers. Great product for Intact type customers. If you're in Intact or you know people in Intact, this is going to be a good product right now for you. And what happens is we have to convert their data from here to QuickBooks Online Advanced, and then Intuit moves them from Advanced into Enterprise Suite. That's the navigational way that it goes. Fourlane also cannot technically sell the product right now. We have to run through Intuit for it, but we do the migrations for people, make sure that they're set up correctly, and then Intuit just pushes it into the IES product. We did have a 17-user QBO recently that is going into IES. The price point was quite a bit different than the price point that they were used to right now, but they liked the dimensions and they liked the consolidated reporting. If you're going to go to a consolidated reporting app outside of this, right, so like a QVinci or something like that, I mean, it can get quite expensive, $15 per company that you're consolidating per month. So IES can be a good option there. Consolidating financials across multiple companies. It consolidates 3 reports so far, P&L, balance sheet, which is probably enough, right? And then also the intercompany, I haven't seen people use as much. Again, this is new, right? So we're not seeing it as much yet. And the dimensions, we are figuring out the places where dimensions don't exist and trying to push on Intuit to add, meaning which transaction types or which fields, which lists the dimensions don't show up on. But the concept of dimensions is great. It's literally just extra classes, right? You need more fields to dimensionally break stuff down. That's what dimensions does. Just a class, but a whole different table for whatever you want to call it. Initial thoughts. Again, I already said this, right? My initial thought, if I were Intuit and I were leading their product, in case you guys are listening, is I'd be going after Intact. This is a perfect one to compete with Intact for right now. Definitely not NetSuite. It's not NetSuite. Enterprise and NetSuite are more on par. So QuickBooks Desktop Enterprise and NetSuite are more on par than this IES and so yeah. Okay, let me stop my rambling. I'm over time already. I will get to your questions after this. I hope, as always, everyone was able to take away a little bit from this, and I hope these are helpful sessions for you guys. I'll see you in a couple of months with the next update. I already know what's coming next. I've already seen some of the things that are coming up next, and it's going to be even more exciting stuff. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.